I got my lick back. Yeah. Her sister. Whether or not my son is really my son. You know what I'm saying? Like those kind of questions.
Wow.
Whoa.
It's like.
Only been a few hours, but it felt like days. Only been days, but it felt like months. Been gone for a year, only home like once. Life move fast when you doing.
See.
Over here, I can pull it back over here to my little corner. All right, is that better for you?
Yeah. Appreciate you.
Okay, no problem. But my daughters, I mean, not my daughters, but my son, it's like a hit and miss thing because his biggest issue with all of it is I didn't take the responsibility and go after it the way I was supposed to, and looking back on how I handled things, and this is me being a man and accepting accountability, I was wrong. In every sense of the phrase, bro. Like if having to put myself in a situation, if I was him, I would want my dad to at least show some kind of fight for me.
So give us a little feedback on the backstory with his mom. What was it? Well, I know you got a few. How many baby mothers do you have?
6.
Okay, what number is she?
Number 1.
So this was your first child?
I be
Yes.
stroking.
Okay. How old were you when he was born?
23 months from 21.
Okay. So first kid, this is all new to you. You and her, what's that like?
She already had a kid. I was already playing daddy.
Okay.
Like,
So
I mean,
what happened with?
like when I put it to you like this, I met the girl when I was 17. We went through a whole bunch of it's crazy that you even asked that question, bro. Most people wouldn't be care on something like this. They wouldn't care about the mom.
Most people don't do what we do.
But me and her, what it was is, and to be all the way honest, is I was in a situation I should have never been in to begin with. I'm from the city, she from the country. You can read between the lines. I was living in a place where I should have never been. She was from the country. I was from the city. I was living in the country. Read between the lines. It was a cultural difference between me and her. You know what I'm saying? It was more so like what they knew was what they saw on TV. What I knew was reality to me. So they based their opinion on me based off of what they saw on TV, and that ain't, that's not real life. So I dealt with that mostly, a lot of family interference, the way of lifestyle in the area that we were living in. I dealt with a lot of those things. So that played a major weight. I got into some legal trouble, ended up getting sat down for a minute. And then while I'm sat down is when the real issues started. Like, to the point where I'm even questioning situations with my own father. You know what I mean? Like, and whether or not my son is really my son. You know what I'm saying? Like those kind of questions.
Wow.
Whoa.
It's like, yeah, you see what I'm saying? So it's like those kind of questions are playing in my head. Now that you hear those types of things, understand my mindset as to why I handled things the way I did. I didn't just like up in one day be like, I don't want this kid. I ain't just saying, this is my first son. Like, what man in the world ain't running around here doing cartwheels and flips? It's my first boy.
You know he yours today though,
Yeah,
right?
I know he's mine. There's no doubt in my heart. Like, that's mine. But there was a questionable situation where it did raise some eyebrows on both sides of the family. Like, everybody looking at both of them like, what's going on?
Okay.
But when I came home from dealing with my little situation, I was sitting down talking to my neighbor. Now, again, my neighbor, I'm in the country, so this is who I'm around, country folk. So my neighbor talking to me one day, he like, yeah, man, I seen you come down here one day, man, and I was gonna say something to you the last time you was down here, but I you guys were in a hurry, so you kind of left out. I was wondering if you were ever gonna come back around. And I'm looking at him like, I just got out I ain't been here since she moved here.
He thought you were your dad?
Listen, it's crazy. He thought that I was some dude that she was just messing around with. Mind you, she's pregnant with my kid when she's doing all of it. So again, me being young, naive, I'm like, because again, I was brought up a certain type of way. Like I brought up seeing the women in my family be very abusive to men. You know what I'm saying? In the sense of the way they handle them. My granny was the type of woman, she pulled pistols on dudes, man, like no questions, and wasn't afraid to use them. Like my mom, I done seen her stab up my dad, go upside dudes' heads with vases, and I mean it's crazy.
Man.
That's that era.
Yeah, so
Where you
it's
say you
like
from again?
Columbus, Ohio.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna stay away from that.
It's real out there, bro. They think it's a small cow town, bro, but it gets serious out there in the bus, man. But my just being around those types of women, I felt that these types of behaviors were accepted. Mm-hmm. This is if I'm a man, I'm supposed to always be accepting. If I really, really, really like this girl and I really, really want this to work, I gotta accept everything she come with. And that's because men were not taught what to expect or what the expectations of a woman was. We was only told how to treat them.
Mm-hmm.
Vice versa, women weren't taught how to treat men either.
That's the same thing. You know, it goes both ways. And you know, but that's a whole nother topic. But me and girl fell out because of how she was. It had nothing to do with me or how I was as a dad or wasn't a provider or any of these things. Like, I'll put it to you like this. She was the first female to ever cheat on me. First female to ever break my heart. The first female to ever, I can't say the first female to ever break my heart. That was my mama. But the first female to, you know what I'm saying? The second female to ever hurt my heart, but ever hurt me in a way like this. I say 3 weeks after knowing this girl. Now, most people say, hey, you should have left then, bro. Say 3 weeks after knowing this girl. Now, mind you, I done told you where I was at. I told you what type of people I was around. Told you how her parents was. All of these things. I'm staying with her parents when I first meet her. And this girl leaves me in her parents' house all night with her kid while she off gallivanting and doing whatever with some other dude over across the bridge.
So how old were you? Said you was 17, right? So how old was she?
I met her. She was 19.
He was with her a couple of years when they got pregnant.
So all right, So
I was with her
for switch gears a little bit. So
I know I bounce around a little bit, man. I apologize for that.
No, we follow.
I'm finna switch gears a little bit. So why didn't you fight for your son?
Because I was
y'all skipping a part. When did it end? How old was he? Where did you go? Did you just never come back? Like what happened?
Hear me out. He was a year and a half when it ended. And most people will be like, you crazy for why this ended. All right. I think this was more so like the straw that broke the camel's back. I don't even, looking back on this, I'm like, dude, that was a petty reason to leave her, but you was better off to leave her than to continue what y'all was dealing with. She accused me of stealing $10 from her. So that was my straw right there. So I left her based off of that. And my whole way of thinking about it is I just went to jail. I gave you $50,000 to put as a down payment on this house. This house is in your name. I went to jail for you to keep you out of prison because these people told me that if I went to court and lost, they was coming for you to try to give you more time than me because you didn't tell on me. So I'm doing all of these things. You done had all these dudes in the crib. I got questions about you and my dad, and you're going to accuse me of stealing $10 from us?
So you left that day and never came back?
So that day I was like, I ain't coming back. So I packed up, left, moved back to Columbus. And after I did that, it was just child support from that point. You know what I'm saying? Like, I put it to you like this. 30 days after I left the home, I got letters from child support to my parents' house. Okay. From that moment, it was, you can't see your son. Mm-hmm. 2 years of me.
And it was interstate, which made it a little difficult, right?
No, we were in the same state. But she lived some counties away. Yeah, she lived some counties away from me. So, but the fact of the matter is that when she did the child support thing, that was a whole play in itself that I didn't understand being 23, not this being my first kid. I don't know nothing about the court system in that aspect.
A lot of men don't be educated.
Oh, I'm a cold boy now because I got 5 of them. It's over. They can't pull that on me no more. They can't do that no more. But I didn't know the court system like that back then. So when I got ready to push forth the court papers, her mom, like these is white folks. I mean, white tea people with money, brother. So they out in the country, they got the bread to back these lawyers. I'm going in there just me. So it's like, hold on. When I get ready to push the button on the court proceedings, I'm being told by her sister that they lawyering up. So I'm like, well, I ain't got no money. They got child support on me. I just got out the can. I can't get a good job. What I'm going to do with that? You know, so it was like my whole situation was raw. The first thing they was going to do was to go in court and be like, oh, well, he's a known drug trafficker.
Yeah. You had a background that was that definitely
off of that fact alone. You see what I'm saying? Just on that, the judge is going to be like, and then you got to look at where I'm at, who I'm dealing with, and then we're going to put the courts on top of that. I didn't have a fighting chance at 23.
So what happened ultimately after they went to court without you and that she got custody or like?
I dropped the whole case. Once I realized that was about to be their play, I dropped the whole thing because I knew I was going to be wasting everybody's time and money. Most people would have went in there, acted a fool, made a spectacle, tried to, argue with the judge. And I ain't got time for all that, man.
You chose to walk away.
I walked away gracefully, and I always, and then there was things where like, bro, let me tell you how crazy this chick was, bro. She, me and my cousin, we wrong for what we did. All right. But me and my cousin, I told him, I said, look, bro, this is how simple this girl is, bro. If you tell her that you like her, she gonna bring my son to see me, bro. And I promise you that's what happened. What? My cousin started talking to her like he was trying to woo her. And he was like, well, look, you know what I'm saying? If you gonna come slide and see me, then won't you bring little dude up from, Cuzzo, you know what I'm saying? They can get some time in. We can get some time in. Everybody be cool. That's how I got to see my son.
So
that's tough,
bro. And like some of this stuff, bro, I know it sound crazy and it sound made up, but I'm not. This is how 100 I'm gonna keep it, bro. Was I just the angel in that whole situation? No, I got my lick back. Yeah, her sister. I got my lick back.
Oh God. Oh God. You didn't have a baby with her sister, did you?
No, hell no. I ain't do nothing crazy.
Okay, like you ain't go that far, right?
But no, just to let it be known that I wasn't. You gonna tell this from both sides. You see what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I got on my dog like that.
Okay, so let's fast forward. So when does your son know that this stuff happened? He's, not 7. Happy with you about not fighting for him.
Like 7 when he realizes what's going on for real. And I'll never forget this conversation, bro. This is something that I respect it. Any 7-year-old come and tell their dad this. I can't do nothing but respect that little guy because he's speaking from his heart and he only speaking on what he believes. He told me one day we was on this is when they was doing like the, what was it called? The Tango video calls. This was that, back in like 2012, 2013, something like that. We was on a little Tango joint. And he was like, Dad, he was like, I don't like the fact that you and my mom go at it about child support so much. I don't even like to be in the middle of it. I don't understand why she needs child support for you to see me. And I don't understand why you won't pay her child support to see me. But what I do know is I love both of y'all and I don't care about neither one of y'all fighting or what y'all fighting about. Now he's 7 when he's telling me this. Mm-hmm. So that right there let me know that, okay, well, I can really talk to him now. And tell him like, hey, whatever you've heard about me, bruh, a lot of it's true, but a lot of it's fabricated to look worse than what it really is. And when we start having these conversations and he got to start knowing who I was. And again, this was just through video chat and phone calls that we was doing this. Still haven't like physically put my arms around this boy.
Why? Why not?
Because of his mama.
She allowed you to talk to him over the phone, but she wouldn't allow you to visit with him in person?
Her sister.
Oh, okay.
The lick
back, okay.
Yeah, her sister was the play.
Got it.
So it's like, while I'm talking to him and doing all of these things, me and her sister, even though me and her sister like hooked up that one time and there was this big thing about it. Well, we hooked up a few times, but we hooked up, you know what I'm saying? And that whole thing got blown over. We still stayed cool. until she did some
She
foul
didn't
shit.
know that she was doing that. They didn't fall out. Like for her to feel like she betrayed her to.
No, because my son was keeping it secret.
Oh, okay.
Like this,
Okay.
like honestly, the only way that she gonna
Like
know
father,
that
like son. Okay.
if she was to get on this live right here, this would be the first time she hearing about me talking to him when he was 7.
So she still doesn't know.
Nah, she know we talk now.
So how is it now? Fast forward. When was the last time you seen him? How old was he?
Last time I saw him,
real quick. I just got a quick question. So, besides her not letting you see your son, was she like abusing him or
nah, she good mom. Nah,
telling him bad stuff about you?
that right there, okay, well, if that's defined as being a bad mom, then okay, she won the award. You know what I mean? Like straight up. I ain't even gonna lie to you. I was
bad stuff about you.
I was everything negative.
Yeah, that's part of parental alienation because she's damaging the parent-child relationship
And turning him against you, even though it didn't work. That was her
The
goal.
only thing that I did not deal with was the fact that they was like, oh, well, she didn't lie and tell him I beat her. You know what I'm saying? Like that, she said, I did everything else but beat her because that's the one thing that she couldn't say that I did. You see what I'm saying? But everything else, bro, I was a dog. I was a womanizer. I did this, that, and that, and this. But all of the situations that she brought into our relationship, they were never spoke of. They were never talked of. And when I brought that to his attention, he got mad at me and thought I was lying to him. Like,
How old was he?
He was like 13.
That was probably.
And he got mad at me, bro.
It was probably too soon, man.
You know, that's still his mama, so you gotta.
He got mad at me and cut me off, and I realized in that moment, nah, bro, I'm one of them dads. I mean, dude, what's your name, bro?
W3.
Yeah, bro, he over here losing.
That's a big no.
But listen,
sometimes it's when you in these type of situations, man, you can get caught up going a little bit too far.
You're right. But see, that's the thing. He was my learning curve, bro. Like everything that all the bad parenting and misrepresentation of what it means to be a dad and all of these things, he was my learning experience, bro. Like you know how that middle child say, or the oldest always say, man, you wasn't doing that with me when I was. You would. Why he get away with that? That's what he experienced, bro. Like, and he told me that one day. He said, you know, Dad. He said, I respect the type of dad you are. He said, I love it. He was like, I only wish that I could have had that too. He said, I don't take nothing away from my brothers and sisters. He said, but to know you like they know you, bro, I wish I had that, man. And that is like, I know that's where that wedge is always going to be because we neither one of us know how to find it, bro. It's like when I sit in the same room with this dude, it's so awkward. And we both are just so awkward. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like going on a first date every time we see each other.
Is it long stints in between the time that y'all spend?
I mean, I'll put it to you like this. Last time I saw him, because I mean, I'm gonna put it to you like this, man. His mom, his grandmother, all the people that he had around him raising him, they did an excellent job. You know what I mean? And I believe that if I had at that time in my life, if I had been there, I wouldn't have been as good to him as they were. You understand that? And it takes a big man to understand and be able to admit that because I wasn't in the right mindset to be raising no kid at 23.
Right.
I just wasn't. I was wild. So me knowing that and seeing the type of young man that he's turned into, man, hats off to grandma.
How do you know that if you wasn't even given a chance?
Bruh, I know
what
me.
I'm saying?
I know me.
It take times like, I could sit here and say when I was 23, I was wild, but if I had my son, maybe that would have caused you to grow up faster. If you got to look at it both ways. Possibly. I see what you're saying. There is a flip side. But you still got to tip your hat off to them because if they raised a good boy and you got a good son, you got to give credit where it's due.
I'm going to put it to you like this, man. I make a decent dollar. I don't know too many people that can say that their kid that's 20 years younger than them make more money than them. So whatever they put in him, to make him the man that he is and the way he handling his business. He's 20 years old. He has no kids. He graduated school a year early, was all-star football player in high school, didn't get in no trouble, ain't got no nothing, and he's balling out.
That's
Whoever
good.
had their hand in raising that boy did a hell of a job.
That's good. Do you have guilt?
Do I have guilt? No. No, I don't have any
Okay,
guilt.
well, with that being said, I don't see why it should be awkward. I think that
It is only
he's still
awkward. Go ahead.
he's still young, right? And I know that it's some questions that you just can't answer because it was a big gap. But I just think that he made you a better you and you made him a better him. That's what I think. Like at this point from the reconnecting part of it. And so I hear you, and I was trying to figure out if you was a deadbeat or not.
No, I'm not a deadbeat at all, baby. I got 5 of my kids, custody of all of them.
I ain't talking about right now. I'm talking about what you did back then and why. But
and see, the thing was, you know what? If we talking about with that particular child, sign me up. Sign me up.
I mean, hearing the story.
Do y'all think he was a deadbeat? Drop it in the comments.
No.
Yeah, like
No.
this is where we have
I mean,
to
but that's
play
100
devil's
though.
advocate
I'm just messing with you, man.
because we know that a lot of men walk away due to the obstacle of the fight, and then so when you hear the whole full story, you just gotta know at least you got a reason. At least it's some real validity to why you knew you couldn't, withstand that fight.
Yeah, you kept it real.
You had some real reasons. And so I don't know if that makes you a deadbeat or not. We're going to have to sleep on this one at that time, So.
No, but he already admitted to it. I mean, he said if you have to define it at that time, he was a deadbeat.
Yeah,
but
you have to really,
he was
you
a
gotta
kid
follow
too,
straight
man.
straight,
It's a
that's
lot
what
to
it is.
learn at that age. And if you don't got positive role models,
And then like giving up, like we can say you gave up, but you still had like some tactics to try to reconnect in your own capacity, even though it wasn't the best
I made the
approach.
attempt, but I made the attempt, but I didn't take the necessary steps to make it happen.
Yeah.
See, I put it to you like this: with my 5-year-old, right? I just got full custody of my 5-year-old. Mama ain't got no rights at all whatsoever. She ain't coming back. You understand what I'm talking about? So before I knew what I know now, if I had a knew now then what I was capable of doing, I'd have walked all over her mama and her parents. They could have brought whatever lawyer they wanted to. I would have had all facts, no fiction, proof. Because I know now that the courts don't care about what I did to her or what she did to me or none of these things that most women go into court and tell their side story to the judges to. I'm trumping all of those things with facts.
So it was really lack of knowledge, right?
Right. It was lack of knowledge. And I didn't know how to, navigate through that situation. And I didn't have the proper people around me. Like, you know how in today's area, we'll see somebody out here in a situation and be like, hey, bro, let me help you out and tell you how to get out of that. Even if we don't know these people, because that's the way the world is set up and designed today. Back then, wasn't nobody getting in nobody's business, man.
No, that's true.
Man was scared of court. Man was scared of court back then.
Yeah.
Child support.
Right. Court is like,
listen. You tell a dude you tell a dude or a girl you're going to court for child support before 2015. They looking at you like, oh.
Forget about it.
Yeah.
And that's real. They don't have no solutions. They don't have no, hey, well, this penal code right here can get you out of that, right? You ain't hearing none of that. There's no education. Our generation didn't have that. We had to learn everything on our own.
That's so true. But not the substance of the story, because we all have a past. We all have made some mistakes that we wish we could go back and change. But for the most part, we respect you. We appreciate your transparency, because you just don't get a lot of men that can really say, hey, I messed up. Like, and if I had to do it this way, I would have did this. And so for that, we salute you, because it makes sense. I mean, it makes sense. You know, it got to make sense. Now, if you was on here just trying to bash the mom and talking about strictly what it was, man, without giving the real true mom, story,
I can't never take that away from her. Girl's a good mom, flat out. Like, she good to that boy. Like, all three of her boys.
Let me ask you this: besides, like actually like going to court for him, like what is something else you would have changed or did besides thinking with the other head?
I would have eliminated that whole situation. If I could have changed one thing, it would have been that night that I got woke up and she wasn't there. A lot of it would have been eliminated if I had just stood on my shit. You know what I'm saying? Excuse my language, but it would have, a lot of things would have been different if I had just stood on what I believed in. Like, no, you messed up. I need to go. That's the end of it. Second chances, you don't get them. And you know, it was like the relationship that I had with my mom is why I had that outlook, because, you know, when you a mama's boy, you see what I'm saying? You have certain expectations of mama, right? Yeah. And then when mama don't live up to them expectations that mama boy got, now he got mama issues.
Right.
Definitely.
So because of all of these things, it was like I'm looking for all of these attributes and things that I'm supposed to get from mama in these women.
So you're admitting that even after the relationship with her, this is how you ended up having other kids with other many different women for the same reason. Okay. Because that was gonna be my next question. Like, are you done having kids?
Yeah, I'm done. My youngest is 5. My youngest is 5. Elijah will be 20 in June. Alaric and Sincere just turned 17 to the 24th and the 23rd of January. Cameron's birthday is April 19th. Ivy's birthday's May 13th. Rennie's birthday's June 12th. Shanjay is the 25th of July or June. And Shanjay is the 25th. Elijah is the 24th of June. And then I have Asia, September 7th. Shatira, October 15th.
Okay. How many kids you got? 10?
November. 10, yes.
10, okay. So, you had women pregnant at the same time?
Yes and no.
It's either yes or no.
It's a yes or no. Again, it's a yes or no, because I've had two women pregnant. Well, hear what I'm saying. There's been 2 women out here that said they were pregnant by me at the same time. Here's the kicker with that. The day one of them was born, girl told me, 3 days after one of them was born, girl told me he wasn't mine. Okay? Hold on, but listen, it gets better, because the other one told me that it was, only to find out 3 years that she wasn't. And then, no. It get better. Then 7 years later, I find out that the girl that told me that the boy wasn't mine, he's actually mine.
No, I thought you said you had kids that were born 2 days apart. Well, maybe not the same year.
So you got kids that's the same age.
They twins.
Twins, okay. That's what I was trying to figure out. Okay. So how were they born on 2 different dates?
Huh?
They were born on 2 different dates?
Yeah, 11:59 and 12:03.
That's crazy.
Okay.